Season out!
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for having me.
I am Fitzroy, and you are?
I am Windel Redley.
Mr. Redley, I am so appreciative of the fact that you take time out to make this interview possible. Where are you originally from, sir?
I am from Jamaica, in the district of Manchester, in the eastern section of Portland.
What was it like for you growing up in that community from a financial perspective?
Growing up in the country, in the Manchester community, from a financial perspective, financially we did not have it, but I enjoy growing up in that section of the island. You know, as a country youth, we always find things to help self-motivate, and like going to the park, playing football. And Manchester is a fishing village.
Okay.
And so there were a lot of activities to be involved growing up in the country in those days.
Okay. As a young man growing up in that community, did you yourself take part in any sporting activities?
Definitely. There was a community center nearby, and after school and on weekends we'd seek the opportunity to go to the park to play football, volleyball, cricket, and all those things. And when we are not doing sports, it's not like now when technology is well advanced. We'll make sure go to the library in the district and use the opportunity to read every book that we could get hands on.
That is very interesting. Do you have any siblings, sir?
Yes, I have 4 brothers.
Okay.
No girls.
Okay. Mommy and daddy still around?
My father died, but my mother is still alive at 97 years old and doing well.
Okay, my condolences. School that you attended?
I attended the Manchester Primary School and then the Port Antonio Secondary School where I graduated from.
And after you leave school, what did you do then?
After leaving school, I went directly to Kingston, and I was teaching at a basic school at the time and pursuing an evening course at CAS, which is now UTech, University of Technology.
Okay.
Back then it was known as the College of Arts, Science and Technology.
Okay, so how many years did you teach at that institution for?
I teach there for approximately 2 years.
Okay, and after that, what did you do?
Well, I can clearly remember that it was during the summer period. I usually go back to Portland every opportunity I get on weekend. So I went back to Portland during the summer period, and then I went to do the tests where I was enlisted in the Jamaica Defense Force.
Okay, after you finished working at that institution, you went straight into the army?
Definitely.
So roughly what age were you at the time?
Oh, 20 years old.
Oh, he was about 20.
Yeah.
So what sort of motivated you then to join the army?
Well, it's rather strange, you know. While I was in Portland, some friends came to me and said that there will be a test at the Port Antonio police station,
Okay.
and I should come and do the test.
Okay.
I remember about 5 of us went,
Okay.
and I was the only person that was successful.
Okay. Can you remember the process that you underwent then, that you took then to join the JDF?
At that time, the process was you have to do a written test first. They would give you a book to read, where read a passage,
Okay.
and then you would do tests where it include mathematics, dictation, and things like that, to include current events.
Okay, I see. Can you remember your first day turning up at Newcastle?
That's rather interesting. After I did that test and was successful, then in those days you only have telegram, you didn't have cell phone and things like that. So I remember my mother getting a telegram and telling me that I need to report to a park camp.
Okay.
At that time I was living in Greenwich Town,
Okay.
and I remember walking from Greenwich Town straight to a park camp where we did a medical and a fitness test, and I was successful. And then about a week after, I received a telegram that I should report to a park camp. And reaching a park camp, I didn't even know that I was going to Newcastle. It was there that they did an assessment and were put on a truck and transported to Newcastle.
Okay. So what was it like for you? Week 1, day 1, basic training. Can you recall?
It was very interesting because I can remember day 1. We went on the square where the sergeant major came and tell us about Newcastle, and so we are no longer civilian, you know, we'll be transformed, changing, becoming soldiers, and you're giving your kids like a boot here to get a haircut and things like that, and put on the uniform, which was very scary at the time, you know, because you're told story of what happened to persons in Newcastle, you know, and at that time I was thinking, why am I here? I think I should go back home, you know. So it was really scary at the time. Yeah, the training in Newcastle was very good. I think it was 113 of us, and about 107 of us graduated. You know, I joined in 1979. That was intake 34. You know, the training was very rough and things like that, very physical. But at the end, looking back, you know, I get to appreciate what I was taught and what I went through to be independent and to respect time. Time management was a critical part of it.
Prior to you joining the army, did you have the slightest idea as to what you were getting yourself into?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Okay. You would have had lots of thoughts during your training. You wanted to quit at times.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the training was very rough and very rugged. A lot of physical activities, and sometimes going through the assault courses. And up there was very cold and things like that. Sometimes, you know, you think about why have you been here? You know, I should go back home because we have persons that actually run away. You know, but you know, there was an instructor there who always tried to comfort us. You know, and saying it will soon finish, one day it will over. So, you know, because of him, he was a father figure, he was a role model to us, you know, he was like a counselor, everything, you know.
As far as you can remember, this corporal was the main person who helped the younger soldiers keep them grounded at all times.
Yeah.
That is very important. You would have gone through a phase whereby you have been corrected on your mistakes by your seniors. We all been there. As far as you can recall, he's the person who ensure you're on the right path at all times.
Definitely.
Okay. Can you remember this person's name?
His name was Corporal Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
he was one of our instructors.
Okay. Few words to sum up your basic training.
Our basic training was good. At first, I didn't want to accept it, but breaking from civil to become a military person was very good. I mean, you were taught a lot of things, to be on time, to be properly dressed, immaculately dressed and things like that. And, you know, a lot of things were involved that actually break you from civil life into military life. And you were taught how to survive on your own. You are no longer with mother and father. So you have to make sure you understand how to survive your own and to manage. Time management was a critical part of it.
Yeah. The transformation was a swift one, but you accepted it.
Yeah, at the end. You know, during the training, you know, there was a lot of resentment, but looking back,
yes,
hindsight, it was very good.
Okay. Roughly, how long did it took you to get your first promotion?
That's really interesting, you know, because I graduated in April 1979. Actually, it took me some time. After leaving Newcastle, I was posted to Alpha Company 1GR. I spent 1 year at Alpha Company, then I was transferred to Support and Services Battalion, where I did signaling, radio operating, and as usual working in the communication as well. During that time, I went to do the test, engineer unit at the time, now 1 engineer regiment. Then I was transferred to engineer unit. At the time, it was in 1983 when the tattoo was going on. And I worked at the backdrop. So a lot of persons did not know I was actually in engineer unit. After the tattoo, and I was placed in the unit physically, I was there until 1990 when it was changed to 1 engineer regiment. And I did not get promotion until 1990 as a lance corporal. And then 1991, I remember going on course in the US where I did a basic electrical course, and then I did the advanced electrical. Then after that, I was promoted to corporal. So there was a big gap between when I passed out up to 1990. But eventually I caught up with everyone else,
Okay.
you know. And it was good for me in a sense because I didn't feel good about it, but you know, I make use of all the courses that were available at the time. Even before I went to the United States on course, I went to the Vocational Training Development Institute, where I did 2 electrical courses, both the basic and the advanced, which actually prepared me going to United States to do the follow-up courses.
Okay. You mentioned that you have gone to the United States. Have you ever gone on any attachment outside of Jamaica?
Yeah, definitely. While at the engineer regiment, whenever there's any form of disaster within the Caribbean area, we will be deployed. I remember going to Montserrat during Hurricane Hugo.
Okay.
I remember going back during the volcanic eruption. So we were between islands like St. Kitts and Nevis, Bermuda, Antigua, and all those places. You know, so whenever there's any form of disaster, we will be sent to these Caribbean islands to work.
Okay, okay, that's good. Can you recall how long did it take you to get to the rank of a sergeant?
I don't remember, but after promoting to the rank of corporal, there are certain courses that you have to attend.
Okay.
You know, I remember doing the commander battle course and junior NCO course and things like that.
Okay.
So I was fortunate to do all my courses prior to becoming sergeant, you know, the senior NCO. And I did also the senior NCO cadre. So I was more than prepared. So even when the promotion was not coming fast enough, I did all the requisite courses that was required to be promoted.
Can we just rewind a bit back to your passing out parade? Because I should have asked, how did you felt on your passing out parade?
It was very good. There's a saying, it's not finished until it is finished. And that is the day each and every recruit we're looking to. That is the day when you're looking forward to meet families and friends who will be coming to that passing out parade. And that is the day when you know you will be becoming a soldier, from a recruit to a soldier. So it was very good. You know, it's very good, you know. And that is the day when you're looking to, after the graduation, you'll be leaving Newcastle and going back to civil life, as people refer to going back into Kingston, you know.
How did you felt going back to your community the first time after your graduation?
I feel very elated and very happy because, you know, on reaching my community, everybody was saying, well done, because a lot of persons during my time went to Newcastle and did not make it. So seeing that you have been through it, you know, it was a plus for me, you know. And it was good for me personally, looking up to you, how could they join the army and things like that, you know. So it's a very memorable moment for me.
Throughout your army career, have you ever stopped and think, oh, I want to be at a certain rank before I left the army?
Definitely, always.
Alright.
I always thinking about moving up the ladder, and why I'm not moving fast enough, you know. So I'm always trying to reach the highest rank possible before I left the army, and I eventually achieved that as a non-commissioned officer.
Okay, so prior to you leaving the army, what rank were you?
Okay, I left the army at Warrant Officer Class 2. So before I left the army, I was posted to Port Authority of Jamaica. I was seconded and secondment for 3 years.
Okay.
After my run-out date, I worked for another year. Then I resigned from the Port Authority of Jamaica. So that prepared me for civil life. You know, working with civilian and things like that, with transition and things like that. And while I was at 1 engineer regiment, I was also the troop commander. So I was in charge of both civilian staff and soldiers. So I was interacting and preparing for civil life, which was very easy for me, because for some soldiers it's not that easy. But for me, being at 1 engineer regiment, we work with a lot of civilians, and I usually work outstation. I can remember working in Port Antonio for 5 years with the British soldiers coming on Calypso Hop. And I was the resident electrician at the time. I was like the mayor, because I was the one who have to make contact with the mayor and persons in the community to get things done and things like that. So, you know, it was very good.
Transitional period was really easy for you after leaving the army?
Yeah, definitely, it was easy for me.
How many years did you serve for?
Oh, I did 35 years, 3 months and 2 days.
35 years?
35 years, 3 months and 2 days.
Wow.
I joined in 1979 and I left in 2014.
I would really like to commend you on such a distinguished service that you have offered to the country of Jamaica and its people, Governor General and everyone. Not a lot of persons have served the amount of time that you served. My hats off to you. Now that you left the army, if you have given a chance to rejoin, would you rejoin?
Definitely I would rejoin.
Why would you rejoin?
The reason why I would rejoin, now looking back, I know that I'm more knowledgeable about the opportunities that were available and is still available in the army. I think I would have chosen a different career, like going to the air wing, where I could become a aircraft technician, avionics, because what you have to do, you know, is ensure that you do the necessary courses that will become marketable in civilian life.
True. So now that you have left the army, do you think you achieved enough?
Not necessarily. I can remember I did a supervisor management course in which I got a diploma. Also, when I went to the States, I also did a diploma in generator repair. I was encouraged to do my degree, but at the time I did not, you know, and I wish I have done so, which would make me more marketable going into civil life.
Briefly, could you list a few things that would be beneficial to anyone who so wishes to join the army, whether male or female?
I want to use this opportunity to encourage our youngsters, our girls, to enlist in the Jamaica Defence Force, because there are a lot of opportunities there. Joining the army is not just about firing guns and driving around in these vehicles. You can go into areas like electrician, mechanics, aircraft technician, avionics. Any trade you can think of is available in the army. You know, you can even get the opportunity to go back to school. There's also a military school in conjunction with our trust NTA, where you can go and learn a trade. I would encourage you to visit the website or call the Jamaica Defence Force long line, and they will give you all the necessary information. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and which will, when you leave the army, there's a wealth of experience again, which will make you marketable when you go back into a civil life. Also, in the army, one of the reasons why the army does a lot of drill, because the aim of drill is to produce a soldier who is alert, obedient, and disciplined. Because of the indiscipline in Jamaica now, the army is one of the way, or the vehicle to use, where a lot of discipline will be learned and encourage you, so that Jamaica can have a more disciplined society.
It's good that you touch on discipline, sir, because I was just about to ask what your view as it relates to a national service, meaning, do you think if there's a national service in Jamaica, the youths will see or feel the need to preserve life?
Definitely. Yeah, I personally think, my view, that if there is a national service, at present we have the Jamaican National Service Corps, where they try to get unattached youth to come and join the army, where they can learn a trade and prepare them for life. So it's a good idea for you to come and join the army. It's known as the Jamaican National Service Corps, so you can go online and check it out, you know. After serving, you will be transferred to different areas of the army. If you do not wish to stay, I think you can either go into all the essential services like the fire, the police, and other areas of civil life.
Personally, I think one of the best methods is education. And when I said education, I don't mean maths, English, and stuff like that. What I simply mean is to teach the youths how best to recognize their purposes. And I think the army is definitely designed for this kind of thing. Now that you left the army, what are you doing now? Or what have you done since you left the army? How long ago did you leave the army, I should ask? You don't have to be specific on months.
10 years.
Okay.
About 11 years now.
Okay. And what have you done then until now?
After leaving the army in 2014, I continued working off the war for 1 year. Then I resigned. I was at home, and I was called by an ex-major to manage a security firm, which were just opening up at the time. I accepted the offer, and I worked with that security company for 1 year. Then after that, I was invited by the Jamaica Legion to fill the position of manager at Curfew home. 5 of us went for the interview, and I was successful in getting the job.
Okay. Can you repeat the name of the home for us, please?
Curfew home.
Okay.
Situated in Manchester.
Okay.
I assumed the position of manager in 2020, during the height of the COVID pandemic.
Roughly how many persons are home to Curfew home at the moment?
At Curfew home, we have capacity for 25 residents. Currently, we have only 10 residents. And since COVID, we have not accepted any new resident, but come 2023, we'll be accepting new residents at the home. We have a staff of 12, which comprise of 4 practical nurses to include auxiliary workers.
Okay. Do you have any persons who normally come in and do voluntary work?
Definitely. At the home, you have a lot of persons like clubs, church groups and things like that. Even from the Northern Caribbean universities. Schools would come into the home to do volunteer works and things like that. Plus to feed the resident and give gifts to them.
What are the channels or channel? If someone chooses to render some assistance, who should they contact?
They would normally go through the Jamaica Legion headquarters, which is situated in Kingston, or they would call me as the manager directly. In rendering assistance to the home, you can either go through the Jamaica Legion. The number is 876-926-2381. 876-926-2381. Or you can contact the manager at Curfew home. Number is 876 375-5853. Email address is curfewhome876@gmail.com. No spaces in between. Again, the number for Curfew Home 876-375-5853.
How does this organization get its funding?
Curfew Home get its funding. The main fundraising event for Curfew Home is the National Puppy Appeal. The National Puppy Appeal is launched the second Sunday in October. It's a calendar event, and the patronage of His Excellency Sir Patrick Allen. This concert is called Concert in a Garden, which is held at Curfew Place. So that's our main fundraising event. Apart from that, the Jamaica Ex-Soldiers Association, which is in United States, Canada and Britain, they also play a very important part, donating things to the home and keeping events so that the home can be benefited from it. To include well-wishers and friends of Curfew Home, you usually donate things to Curfew Home. Most of the soldiers returned from World War II back to Jamaica. After returning from the war, Curfew Home was provided as an additional support for those who want to go to the home. As I said before, Curfew Home have capacity for 25 residents, but at present we only have 10. The ages ranges from 60-year-old to 101 years old. The 101-year-old person is a World War II veteran who served in the Royal Air Force. His name is Stanley Francis. Curfew Home is managed by a local management committee. It's like a board. They are the person who actually oversee the day-to-day runnings of the home.
Having been at the home, I assume persons would come in and visit on a day-to-day basis. Would you so choose to say like where these persons who come in and visit are from?
Okay, we always have persons who want to come and visit Curfew Home. You'd have schools, different organizations, the churches, the Jamaica Defense Force play an integral part in Curfew Home. They would normally come and do projects and help with the home. What happened during the pandemic, we have to scale down on the amount of visitors because of the COVID-19, and protocols were put in place and things like that. But since the pandemic is sort of decreasing, we start to accept visitors at the home. We also have persons who visit from London who want to see their World War II vets. So they would call and make appointment and come to the home where they would interact with the patient and things like that. At the home we also have a resident doctor who visit every month to include mental health persons who would come to the home, because during the pandemic, persons were not allowed to move as freely, and then you find that mental health issues comes in and things like that. So a lot of persons come in and sensitize and talk to them and help to motivate them. Even the resident church within the area would visit the home on certain Sundays and come and worship with the residents. As I said before, the home was opened in 1958. Where maintenance, checks and services is concerned, the home was refurbished in 2017 on the 19th of April by the Right Honorable Andrew Holness. So the home is now a center of excellence, the place we'd like to be. So it encourage each and every ex-soldier, each and every veteran who have never been to Curfew Home to come and visit, interact with the resident and staff and see what the home is like. I want to implore each and everyone to visit the home and make a difference where it is concerned. A lot of soldiers, including present soldiers and ex-serving members, who does not know where to find Curfew Home. Curfew Home is situated or nestles in the hills of South Manchester. It's actually between Cross Keys and Rose Hill, in the vicinity of Wigton Farm. So anyone who want to visit, is actually situated in South Manchester. So I want to encourage persons to pass by and see, because a lot of time I get calls, person does not know where Curfew home is. So you can go and spread the word around and encourage person to come and visit the home and be a part of this family.
Well said, sir. That concludes our interview.
I would like to express my deepest gratitude to you for your generosity in accepting this interview at such a short notice. And also, I would really want to thank you for your distinguished service that you have offered, not only to the people of Jamaica, but throughout the world. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for having me.
You're welcome.